That's how I start every video. I gotta ask you a very serious question before I show you some cool stuff right here I drew up for you. That question is, are you winging it? Are you just going about the week just, yeah, we'll just see what happens? Are you going about your days without structure? Are you going about your month? Are you going about your life without any structure? I know it sounds a little dramatic, but most people are. And even if you think that you're planning a lot, I'm gonna show you in this video how you can plan your perfect week so you can remove all the stress of what you should be doing and get into what actually matters. This is Clark with Refusing to Settle. Let's go. Refusers, welcome back to Saturday Strategy. This is the first official one where we give you a strategy, more tactical, analytical stuff that you can apply in your life and get stuff done. Man, today we're talking about how to plan your perfect week, and I'm proud of this. I can't wait to show you some of this. We're going to talk about some big ideas here and ask you if you're drunk. Promise to go over that. It can affect your productivity by 40%. So by the end of this video, you should have a clear plan of 2 or 3 different methods that I've used over the years, and I'll tell you which one I'm using now, to plan your week. And everyone overcomplicates this, okay? It comes down to your most important tasks, which we're going to talk about. Now, look, I used to be someone who's like, experimented with being really rigid. Like, if I don't have a 5-hour morning routine and, cold shower, meditate, deep breathing, smoothie, workout, then I can't do my day. So I realized all of that was just a distraction. And when you simplify it and you strip it away, you actually get more done with less work. Let's go back to the question, are you winging it? We opened it with this. Is Michael Phelps winging it? Are pro athletes winging it? Are pro basketball players winging it? No, they have a plan. They have training regimens. They show up, they put in effort, and that's why they're the best in the world. They have discipline beyond it. Does Michael Phelps just wing it like when he gets in the pool? No, he has rituals and stuff we'll talk about in this video. So honestly, we got to ask ourselves, are we just winging it? And if we want to be a professional, we want that professional level performance. Okay, you want to be a pro, you want to be the world's best, you want to make money, you want to crush it, then you need this video, this perfect week. Here's the problem with how most people go about their day. And excuse the candid setup here. Apparently I wasn't lazy because I drew some really good pictures for you, but I was too lazy to set up the shot to make this really all in one anyway. Most people plan their day like this. They say, okay, here's the 20% that gives me 80% of the results. You know that, right? The Pareto distribution, that if you look at your closet, 20% of the shirts, like you probably see in videos, right? 20% of your clothes get 80% of the wear. 80% of the traffic is on 20% of the roads. 20% of your friends give you 80% of your happiness. And if we're really honest, 20% of your actions are giving you 80% of the money and the results, okay? So we got to identify that in this video. What are your high value tasks? What's that 20% that only you can do and everything else is almost irrelevant? Sometimes it's important, but it's not like the needle mover, which we'll talk about, okay? So this is how most people plan their day. They do everything else right here, and then they only do that little 20%. It's just 20% right there. This is how the pros do it, the pro athletes that aren't winging it, the productive people. How you doing? They have everything else here, that 50%, and then they focus the other half their time on that 20%. Imagine if you only did the stuff that moves the needle, and I'll give you an example here, like filming videos. I got a buddy who's filmed every single day for like 2 years, and he's crushing it. He has over 700,000 subscribers, doing millions a year, like just absurd numbers, just crushing it. And it's because he focused on this. He's like, look, what's going to grow this YouTube channel? Is it really scripting every single word out? Is it finding the perfect video? No, that's only doing 20%, which is filming and showing up. It's filming frickin' videos. And so that's what he did. He just went and he started filming daily, and his channel exploded because of this. Got another buddy in this internet marketing space. He's like, okay, what's really the 20% bringing in the ROI here? Like, is it videos and stuff? Like, that's important, but his business model looks a lot different. I spent a good time of this year going around and traveling and shadowing entrepreneurs and seeing how they plan their day. These are 7-8 figure entrepreneurs, like, making millions a year. What are they doing? And most of them identify this, the 80-20 right here, and they spend an absurd amount of time on the only thing that matters. So my friend, back to his story, his case looked like paid ads and webinar traffic. So guess what he did for most of the day? He shot ads, he came up with new hooks, he created courses, he's focused on things that were only bringing in revenue, And that's how we got to 8 figures. Does this make sense? Hope this is making sense. Here's why this is important, okay? We have your goals right here. Now, everyone talks, and a lot of people want to do great things, but like life comes up. I get it. Life gets in the way. You have your now goal right here, what you should be doing right now. Maybe you're procrastinating by watching videos. That's okay. This one's going to be good. We're going to give you some tactics. Then you have your daily goals. Okay, what's the one thing you should do today to get you bigger? For me, it's like filming content like this. I know that these videos will live on longer than I can. They've already have. I look at the watch time, it's like 80 years worth of watch time, 24/7, 365. Like, it's crazy. So that came from identifying, videos. That builds the brand, that brings in sales, that brings in everything, okay? What about your weekly goals? What's the one thing you could do that week, one thing that month, year, 5 years, and someday goals? You need to identify all these. And if you just focus on this, it naturally progresses you outward and you get momentum. It's kind of like the image in the book, the one thing, is that it's a domino. Do you need to worry about the 15th and 100th domino? Well, I mean, yeah, if you're going for like a world record and you want to push it and knock them all down. But the first domino is the one that matters the most, because as soon as that happens, boom, you got momentum and all the others knocked down. Does that make sense? Like for me, if I'm brutally honest, if I showed up and filmed videos for an hour a day, 2 hours a day, I could be done if I wanted to. That's what my buddy does. And then the rest of your day is 11 hours of free time. But what do? We put off that big thing because it takes effort and energy, and it can be harder if we have resistance towards it. It's totally natural. And so we use all this time right here to just get ready for it and to think about it and to stress about it and procrastinate, but it's still in the back of your mind, right? Remember college where you had to turn in an assignment or a paper and like you would put it off? All like Monday through Thursday, if it was due Friday at like 11 a.m., you were thinking about it, right? It wasn't fun. You couldn't be in the moment. You couldn't enjoy things because you were thinking about it. But what if you had done it on Monday? You wouldn't have been stressing about it Tuesday through Thursday because you already had it done. So it's not the thing that's hard. It's thinking that makes it hard. It's us thinking that it's hard that makes it hard. There we go. You see what I'm getting at? So it's not that you don't have enough hours in the day. So people say, if only I had more than 40 hours a day, I could do it, It's not that. It's that it's mismanaged time. Okay? Hope this makes sense. You're like, Clark, okay, why is it important to have goals? Why is this is all too rigid? This is all too structured. I just want to, more of a laid back kind of guy. I like to go with the flow, like to just let life unfold. No worries, man. Hawaii. Like, that's fine if you want to live that lifestyle, but if you're watching this content, you want to refuse to settle and do big things, you need to get structured like a pro athlete. Here's another analytical reason why goals matter, okay? I don't know if you can see this. 0% is how most people do. Like 0 to 20% of what they say gets done, right? If they have a goal. That's like 0% right there. They have goals, but if they're honest, they're just interested, they're not committed. If you're interested, you'll do what's convenient. If you're committed, you'll do whatever it freaking takes, man. You're gonna commit to that, right? So that's what happens when you don't write it down. You're just kind of interested, to be honest, Most people on New Year's resolutions, are they interested or committed? They're interested because most people are off 80% by the second week of February. You can just go to your local gym. You can see this. People show up in January 1st, it's crowded as hell. And then, by February, it's not as crowded anymore. Before we get down that rabbit hole, 39% increase in actually achieving things when you write it down. When you write your goals down, these goals right here, the someday goals, you're 20% when you focus on it. And why we're prefacing this whole video, you're like, Clark, just give me the trackers. No, slow down. We need to cover this. You need to write stuff down. This tracking stuff, this productivity stuff matters. 39% is an increase. It goes up to 76 when they studied people and they reported weekly to an accountability partner that held them accountable to their goals. That's crazy. Imagine if you look back on your New Year's resolutions. Was it making more money? Was it losing weight? Was it attracting a soulmate or a dream partner, or having a better relationship or whatever? Traveling? If you did 79% of your New Year's resolutions, your life would look really freaking good, right? You'd want to trade places with that person, right? That's why planning your week's so important. So for 2 reasons. The first is that you get more done. Literally, it's backed up by science. They've studied it, okay? The group that does all studies, right? And the second is that failing to prepare is preparing to fail. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? Okay, so this is why tracking your week is so important, because you know where you're going and you now have tools. All you have to do is implement it. And we focus on what matters. We ignore everything else. The last point I want to riff on with you, said it at the beginning, it's a hook, it might be in your mind just for some closure here. Are you drunk? Are you drunk? All right, you guys see this? I'll pull it up closer. When they were looking at fatalities with driving, okay, again, the study group, do you know what the #1 cause was? Yeah, it was drunk driving and stuff, but you know what was a really high cause of car fatalities? Meaning people in their car going about their day on autopilot, and then they die. It was distracted driving, like on their phones, changing the station, eating. Distracted driving accounted for 16% of the fatalities, okay? That's crazy. So look, you're like, what does car fatalities have to do with being productive? I'll tell you why. What do you think's happening when we don't script our day, when we don't script our week, when we don't plan? Are you focused or are you distracted? Yeah, you're distracted. So can we extrapolate then if 16% of people driving, not only do they not make it there, I don't know, car crashes, but like get in accidents and they're distracted, your week's not going to be very good. It's like distracted driving. Your driving's not going to be very good. That's why planning is so important. So are you drunk? This is getting at distracted driving had the same effect as almost being drunk or severely sleep deprived on your driving. People like couldn't concentrate because they were so distracted, and it was just as good as them being impaired with a substance. So are you drunk with your week? Are you not planning it? If you're not planning it, if you're winging it, if you're not a pro, if you don't excuse me, treat yourself like a professional, a true professional, then you're winging it and you might be intoxicated with distractions, all right? Now let's get into the time you've been waiting for, the nitty gritty, all this stuff. I'll open up the journal, I'll show you how to actually plan your perfect week. We're gonna walk through 3 methods here. The first one, I title it Clark's stupid simple way to plan your perfect week, all right? So if you're someone who's like, all right, I just need some loose structure, this is the method that I've been using for the last probably 49 weeks. It works really well, and you can do a combination of these, but I'll show you right now. I will say you can also do this in your iPhone's Notes app. That's totally fine, but I use pen to paper journaling and it keeps me accountable. So what you do, you have 2 blank pages, draw a line there, and then I like to write the week number. So this is the 52nd week in the year, and then I put the date there. I don't know why there's 2 extra weeks here. Maybe we had a funky year in 2019 with December. And sometimes that happens. So that's what you do, you just draw a line there. Now I'll show you what a completed one of these looks like. Now I don't want to bore you and go through it, but just focus on this area right here, and then anything you don't get done can transfer over to a following week, all right? I break it down into 4 areas, okay? And this is all based on my business. So I have refusing to settle stuff, so stuff that just runs the business, like coaching calls with my coaches and whatnot, that I know I need to do that week. Then I have YouTube, all right? So I typically film 4 days a week, and so I write here, okay, write videos, film videos, all that stuff. Miscellaneous things, these are updating, like picking shirts up from the dry cleaner, redo a coaching video that I didn't get to, so that's it. Every single week looks different, so don't worry about what's actually here. My takeaway to you is identify 4 areas. Do this weekly tracker if you like this. It's very simple, it's clean, and I like having it in my journal so I can go back through every year and really analyze what I did if I feel like doing that. The goal here is not to write every single thing you need to do. I've tried that, it doesn't work. You just end up doing the stuff that's easy, not the stuff that's actually productive. The next method, this is where maybe you have multiple things, multiple tasks. You're like, Clark, how do I schedule my week? Okay, I know how to plan it and prioritize, but like if I have, 16 hours in a day, I gotta work out, I got kids maybe, I gotta go to a 9-to-5 job. I hear you. So I want to walk you through now this thing right here, this tracker overhead, and this is a time block, a time tracker that I've used to really hold myself accountable and do a work week. I've shown you this in other videos. The second way right here, I wrote out, I was having a hard time knowing what to do, but actually doing it throughout the day. So I wrote down, okay, my ideal day is to wake up at 6 a.m. and work till 7 p.m. It's not all the way through if you're like, that's crazy, because I have a workout and lunch right here. But then I wrote Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at the top. And so now I'm literally planning my week like this on a little sheet of paper, okay, maybe 8 inches by 8 inches. Isn't this more palatable? This is so less overwhelming in my opinion, because now you know exactly what you need to do throughout the week. And you write these in as you go, like, I know that's a YouTube film session. I know that I have coaching calls down here. So you know how to schedule everything, and you can schedule it in what matters. For you, maybe this is a 9-to-5 job. Like I was doing this with the coaching client. She had a 9-to-5 job right here, okay? Well, if you want to do something like a business, that becomes right here. And you know exactly if you're on track or off track just by looking at this. You ever had those days where you're like wanting to work and you're like, oh, I don't really know on what though? This really simplifies it. I take Saturday, Sunday off, or 2 days a week off. That's kind of my rules. If you want to do this route and really dive into how you create these sections, I'll link in the description below this video where we actually break down us doing this. I'm not going to do it in this video, it's just redundant. Go watch that after this video if you're into that, or open it in a new tab, save it for later. I will say here, there's no right or wrong way. You got to experiment and you got to find the way that works for you. Don't be so rigid of where, like, you know, if a timer goes off and you're planning your day in 5-minute increments, like, in my opinion, that's just hasn't worked for me. I've tried it and it just hasn't. It's not good. I've planned it in 20, not 5, I should say. And that was a little too rigid. So now I found that groove with those methods I showed you. And the goal here is to experiment with all these different methods and push away what doesn't work and adapt to you what does work. If you're still watching right now, can you do me a favor? You comment down below something you got, boost the algorithm up like crazy, and we get this productivity into as many people as possible. Thank you so much. I'm Clark with Refusing to Settle. If you like this video, thumbs up and tune in next Saturday for our Saturday strategy. I'll link up Perfect Day Formula in the description below, as well as our interview with Craig Ballantyne. It's a perfect follow-up to this video. You'll love what's in there if you're into the analytical tracking stuff as well. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Till then, stop settling, start living. See you guys.